That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We have our qualified teams for the Mid-Season Madness here in the Western region, and there are a few teams on the outside looking in. We're going to be dealing with two of those in our first match up today. The Washington Justice go up against the still winless Vancouver Titans in a match that could be described so many different ways. Probably all of them will get me fired, so I'll let you put your spin on this match.
I'm extremely excited for this match. Look, the Titans, they have not won a game. I think I said August 14th against Paris.
That's right.
The way Washington has looked lately, maybe this is the one.
You can't be serious.
If I was like Deepay, I'd be showing my players footage of recent Justice matches, being like, look, we can do this. we're getting better. You guys are popping off in terms of the DPS. You know, Aztec, keep him alive. He's doing good. I also think that the Justice are under so much pressure, right? Just kind of from everybody as a whole, that if you take like the first map or something, maybe you can really kind of catch them off guard and end up really kind of spiraling the series in your favor for Vancouver.
Yeah, obviously Washington Justice in a position where they maybe, could have qualified for the Mid-Season Madness, and they're in a map 5 scenario, Matt. They sub-decay out of their roster because there's Lee Zhang Tao, and what we heard later is that they just felt like having the Mag in that lineup and having a different configuration for the team they felt was better. It was the plan. It didn't work. They lost in that map 5, and obviously that was heartbreaking for them. So now the Washington Justice have a chance to sit and think, take a long think. And a video game to play here, of course, against the Vancouver Titans. Definitely, they don't want to be serving up that first W to Vancouver. And I got to hand it to Scott. He takes his disdain all the way. Really, he's true to himself there. But there's a reason why most of the other desk people did not predict a Vancouver win today.
Yeah, which, I mean, this one for me would have been tough to predict. I know it sounds crazy with a team that hasn't won a game, but I just think like the Justice are in a really weird spot, Mitch, right? Where some teams, like, it is clear they're kind of like building towards the future, and some like have rosters where like, hey, we're kind of going for it now. The Justice roster strikes me as like a, hey, we're going for it now, but they're kind of like floundering in that like middle of the pack area where they really need to start to come together as a team, because the roster is kind of built to contend like today.
Right, and I think that's our issue. It's sort of like the way this roster was constructed. I mean, that's why people are so hard on this team, I think, because they just see these players and, yeah, not a day goes by without someone saying the talent is there, whatever. Let's talk about their opponents, the Vancouver Titans here.
I didn't say it today, you did.
No, Danny did. Danny said on the desk, and everyone has to quote me as well before they do it. That's fine, guys, no worries. Okay, the Iron Shoulder Doctrine starting to take this team off the bottom of the ladder, or will it? I guess that's the question here. So far, so good. We have a Mirror Aspire DPS line today, though, Matthew.
And interesting with Falson and the tank rolls. So we'll get an opportunity to see kind of like what they plan on running here. Like the desk mentioned, double push week. The new Queen Street here up first. So what would you have planned possibly? Like, I think you would have played probably Mirror in terms of the tanks if you were going to run something like a Doomfist, right?
Right.
Kind of what we've seen from him as of late. Is this the kind of play, some Reinhardt type of play of like, hey, we just saw the kind of like lose against London, can we just pull it out ourselves and run it and maybe make something happen? That
is the question, because I mean, we know that False was more known as an off-tank player. He was Reiner's off-tank in the past. And when we saw Vancouver try and make main tank setups work, and I want to point to the Winston, I think that Winston was where some of the issues were the most glaring, right? Where, it was quite clear to see that False was not quite finding his feet at the league level. Mirror comes into this team, but he doesn't necessarily just fix that particular issue, that dearth of main tank experience.
It doesn't solve your Winston issue, yeah.
No, yeah, I mean, well, again, he comes in and plays Doomfist and he looks, great at it, right? So that's not an issue, but it's some of those other main tanks. And, we just heard Atlanta on Twitter say, Brad Rajani sort of saying, well, why do we run Hawk? Because we think right now having our tank player, having the deepest hero pool possible is the best way forward and the best way to treat this game. And I think we all agree with that, right? Yeah.
Yeah, we talked a little bit yesterday when we saw Hawk playing like the entire series and the tanks that he was playing. I completely agree with Atlanta and that type of mindset. And it's early enough in the season where, and Atlanta, you know, they're a little bit more fortunate, right? They built a bit of a cushion. They were able to do that. So False will come out on Sigma here. So Mirror going to play the Tracer. So this is a really interesting look because you do have Aspire in Shockwave, but is Mirror going to get the start today on Tracer? And for the Justice, they're going to play the Doomfist with a Widowmaker and Tracer here against the Sojourn. This, you know, he wouldn't really think of this map as a Widowmaker map.
No. It's an odd choice, but it's happy as well. Aztec gets ruined there. And the reality is that Vancouver are not playing a composition that can do much about where Happy is, right? False is playing Sigma. Okay, yeah, good start here. Miro realizing, or maybe remembering what it's like to go up against Happy, previously like a DPS specialist. You know, for the Gladiators, we saw him come in and play, you know, Doomfist. We saw him come in and play Farah. You know, more the projectile-based DPS here. So he's got a tough job trying to deal with Decay and Happy.
Yeah, and Miro would also come in and play some of like the Zarya for those teams.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Well,
yeah.
But it'll be the Justice in control of the bot first. Some nice pickoffs from Happy is still not a ton of like meters gained, right? So if you're the Titans and you end up winning this fight, you're probably able to, you know, at least match.
I mean, I think that Washington Justice want to give Happy decent sidelines here. So pushing any further kind of just hurts them, really. They want to take a full-strength fire where Happy has, like, good eyes on the entirety of the Titans lineup. Aspire is living a little dangerously here. Definitely outranged by the Widowmaker. Bionic Grenade doesn't really help things now as False is getting bullied a little bit with Master having to play from the wings. And Happy's free-firing. You'd love to be here.
I mean, he doesn't have a ton of targets to fire on, though. I mean, you look from his POV, he's got Infrasight now, but really there was nothing for him to shoot at for a while.
Couple body shots on a Sigma, though, putting the pressure on. Krillin falls. Mirror's able to find his way into the back line, but another headshot on a flanking Tracer.
This, like, the compositions between these two teams seem so bizarre right now. As, you know, the Titans, they'll be coming back here. They'll be able to get another fight. Probably, you know, at that checkpoint, maybe even a little bit before, and they'll have some ultimates, but, like, what? The Justice kind of, like, just playing a little bit more passive, allowing Happy to take some of these angles on the Widowmaker with the Doomfist Tracer follow-up.
Oh dear.
Mirror gets slept here. It's a nice shield. They're not able to land like a biotic grenade there.
Did Mag get whip shot back? Hard to say. Master going to be punished for saving his teammate, though, theoretically, as Decay is going to find a pulse bomb connection. Both DPS and the Justice are looking pretty good here, and like Johnny said, push maps generally not an issue so much for this team. They're pretty proficient on them.
No. Nice dodge there. Got the meteor strike off just in time as poor Aztec. They, you know, showed his great damage stats. They showed his, amount of deaths. That's a good example of how it happens. Is, you know, just
I like that response.
Everybody's dying around him. Yeah, like
False is like, nah, I'm going to bring my pet rock to school today. And Mag says, beam me up, Scotty, and he's gone at a moment's notice. That's Happy on Aspire there, and that's definitely a matchup where you really favor Happy, especially if the sidelines are good. This is the kind of map. Colosseo obviously has a pretty long stretch in the middle where we've seen like Hanzo played, but New Queen Street has a series of fairly long sightlines as well, accompanied with those hairpin turns, man. So you can see Happy able to derive plenty of value here.
Yeah, and he also is just you hear a Widowmaker shot from the side, you're a little bit scared if you're the Titans. A little bit more. Nice shot there from Aspire. Like, you can get to these like medium range battles, right? That's when you're like, okay, the Sojourn can really do damage here against the Widow. Because the Widow obviously has to, you know, load up those headshots, you know, and hit them, where it's a little bit harder against the Sojourn in that close to medium range.
Miro loses out that Tracer duel. Bit of a rebaptism of fire as Decay finds yet another DPS. Look at the bot. So not only does Decay kill both DPS, but he moves them all back to neutral here. This is very bad for the Vancouver Titans now. They're stuck here. Mag caught a Gravitic Flux. He can abscond relatively easily, but at low HP, he tries to pressure. I mean, yeah, false down. I'm not sure about that one. And gets removed.
Yeah, they got the bots, though, going in their direction. So, you know, in the Justice direction, so it's got to make this trek all the way back to the barrier and then move on forward. So now they're going to play Tracer Genji here. Maybe this is why they want Mirror in the game, for a little bit of flexibility to play the Genji in this type of role, like the Tracer or the Genji. And now you're going to try and put a lot of pressure on the Happy.
Yeah, I mean, allowing the free fire for most of the round gives just such an incremental advantage to the Justice fight by fight. But decay is also an issue. So, right, you want to switch into sort of dive, Matt? You want to pressure Happy? That's fine. That's also not happening yet. But Decay is more than happy to duel with Aspire, duel with Mirror, and he often has the assistance of Krillin's Discord Orb. You'll constantly see that in the kill feed, and that slants that Tracer matchup heavily in Decay's favor.
Oh, absolutely. So, Justice going to get back to this moment. They actually get off of it, because this is going to be a good sightline for Happy, right?
Yeah.
He can play up top. I know in that little tunnel, players have to move freely through this area of the map. That's where you think he can get the most work done. It's going to be very difficult. Maybe not. Okay, he's able to just jump a little wiggle.
I mean,
takes out Aspire.
Krillin is behind him, behind Aspire. So just sprays him with orbs. Now, the kill credit goes to Happy, but I'd say a lot of that damage, it was a body shot, right? So a lot of that damage probably came from Krillin behind him. But yeah, this is a big problem now for the Titans, and they don't really seem to know what to do. They try and counter Happy, then Decay just, you know, runs game all over them.
This is when you would want, like, can you play like a Doomfist, or can you play a Winston, right? And, you know, maybe change your comp up a little bit, but it doesn't seem like we're going towards that. Where the
we've even seen teams play D.Va. I mean, that's a great pick for False.
Yeah. Yeah, the Sigma is good in combination with the Brig and the Zen for like just, you know, the shield, a little bit of extra kind of like poke, playing a little bit more static. But when they're playing the Widowmaker and this aggressive dive, and you're also now playing the dive DPS, it's a bit harder to work.
The Decay classic spends so much time sneaking up, but he's got that perfect in, and the Pulse Bomb doesn't quite adhere. Here we go, Mag going forward. Nano boost here for the Doom Fist. And Aztec's already fallen, so Decay makes up for a bit of a sloppy start to the fight. And I feel like False is at the mercy of this Doom Fist almost constantly, just getting battered around while the rest of his team is taken out. I definitely don't feel like the Sigma is going to do anything for the Titans here. And if they stay on it, it's basically akin to admitting defeat.
Well, I mean, you kind of have to at this point, right? The barrier is so close to making it all the way to the end. You have a Flux. Can't exactly just give it up at this point. And there you go, you lose Aspire. So now Happy's going to be able to rotate around this outside. You have to play for the car. I know the bot, but you're not in a great spot to. Look at that sight line.
So False is, I'm not sure what False is hoping to get from this Gravitic Flux. Maybe just the one kill. Been holding it for a little bit here as Happy finds yet another. Mirror surely would be bearing down upon Happy right now, and so he is. That's that poison mine out of the way. Oh, don't. Just don't.
What's wild is, like, as Mirror was going towards him, in my head, I was like, oh, Happy's just gonna, like, turn and hit a ridiculous shot and kill him. Like he's hit so many so far during this map that, you know, it looked like I almost wasn't. This game has also just been really weird. Like, this has been one of the odder games of push and, like, nuke that we've seen out. Just, like, these comps going head-to-head, like, where the fights are taking place, like, the pace of it, like, it's just been a little bit all over the place.
Mirror will have two here with that blade. Nicely done. Happy getting brought down. A Vigilante unsure how to deal with that coolin, though. Able to stand up for himself here. Yeah, the composition's obviously bizarre. The Sigma is, it's not the first time we've seen the Sigma here, but it's accompanied by dive DPS. And now it's Sombra from
Sombra, all right. So, I mean, the Sombra is good against, like, the Doom, right? If the Doom is giving you trouble, it's still, there's no, like, no real kind of answer for the Widowmaker, because, what, now, you're going to send, like, Aspire or Mirror in onto Happy, but you know, he's gotten such a good pocket. He's able to hit those shots close range. He also has Infrasight, so you know, the stealth of the Sombra going to be negated. Let's see how they play this. Is he, like, trying to go for Happy?
It's unclear, right? I don't really see how it gives him a better shot.
Like, at that point, like, wouldn't you have just stuck on Genji?
The Genji?
Like,
right. Pressure on Zen's pretty good.
It's a nice play, yeah.
Decay runs into him headlong here. Without Krillin, Happy still rather unperturbed. Was it Aztec? It must have been Aztec across the map, right? Yeah, he gets punished for that, though. Now, Biotic Grenade, rather, on Happy here, so he's taking a ton of damage. I would put some distance between
like the whole army going at him.
I mean, they may as well.
You got Aspire, you got Mirror, Masa swinging on him. It's like a raid boss.
They brought every Mountie in the national park, Matthew. All right, 7 seconds left in the round for the Vancouver Titans to show us a little bit more than a listless slog.
Is Mitch, the Titans actually could push this. They have a Gravitic Flux, they have the Rally, they're going to have an EMP coming up, and Transcendence. Like, all extremely powerful ultimates coming online.
Yeah, Falseman hatched in that one like a century egg, Matt, but Aspire is taken down by Krillin, who continues to show he's one of the more dominant Zenyatta players in the league. Decay will work from the fringes for now, and there's got to be a good EMP here. Max brought down, so the Sombra impact definitely being felt.
Too, I'm telling you. The sightlines for the Widow aren't great at this point, right? Oh, that's unfortunate.
Sleep on Mirror here.
And look at where it's got to get to. Like, you are not far off here. Like, you were acting like I was crazy. Like, this is actually...
Do not speak it into existence.
There's not great Widow sightline.
No. Do not speak this into existence. I'm going to lose it. Aspire trying to put some pressure down now as Mag keeps tabs on it if he possibly can. 93 to 100 here. It is awful close. Aspire's put to sleep as well, and still there's no ability for the Justice to follow up. Meteor strike in from Mag. Who's he looking for? Masa False is in his way as well. Bot gets ever closer here, and the Titans are winning out in these trades here. Krillin's out of position. What is he doing back there? Decay also with a Harmony Orb on him. He's not going to have that for much longer either. Decay trying to harass now, maybe buy a little bit of time for the Sporters to come back in, but Krillin gets taken down around a kiosk, and that's a hack on Decay. You cannot be serious. This isn't allowed to happen. It's wrong. It's wrong.
Okay, it's so close.
It's just wrong! The Vancouver Titans, don't tell me, they're 50 meters behind! 50!
Yeah, but okay, they were. But at that time in the game, in the area of the map you're moving to, they had a great set of ultimates to use in that close quarter area. And then you could see it a little bit on the outline, but like Happy couldn't find any sightline. He had to go all the way around through like that back alley and try and get a flank, like kind of where you were like, well, Krillin's on the flank, what is he doing there? Like, he was all the way out there, and they don't even have to consider fighting him, right? At that point. And then that's where the Brig and the Zen can win out on the barriers. So it looked very dire, but there was a win condition there, and they're able to pull it out.
Which will last longer, the Vancouver Titans' fortitude or my mental state? Stick around to find out. Map number 2 around the corner.
the tip of the spear, and the follow-up is there.
Rotation to the weapons. WGS Phoenix winning the fight.
Saved by Aztec though.
Oh my even scale instantly deleted.
Oh my goodness. The old man switcher.
Some pretty insane final moments in that last map at Aspire. Just gets to run roughshod over a complete disarray here from this Washington Justice squad. Now, I mean,
These are the few moments he was not slept by Vigilante.
yeah, right. I mean, good point. I mean, well, there's 2 sleeps here. Aspire is at least one of those, but there's no ability to follow up on that. So Vigilante trying to keep his team in the game, but the Titans, they win like 4 fights in a row there. So, Matt, I love you did call out that like there were some great ultimates there for the Titans. They still won 3 or 4 fights in a row.
Yes.
You know, that's still pretty ridiculous.
There's like maybe a little bit of reasoning why those sleeps didn't get turned into kills. It'll be Kalios coming in here for Mag for this next map. Because you had like Krillin on a little bit of a flank with Happy, Mag and
Yeah, Zenyatta on a flank with Happy, just to be clear.
Yeah,
Yep.
Mag and Decay are like trying to contest the cart, and Vigilante's trying to keep them alive. So there's really nobody to like put the damage down into those players. Now, granted, even if you don't feel the players slept, you're still fighting at an advantage in terms of the players alive. So, like, you should be able to finish off somebody, but just really nice plays from the Titans. You're gonna think I'm crazy for what I'm about to say. That is like a picture-perfect start for the Titans, in the sense that, like, the Justice have been like boomed for a few games now.
Yep.
And they're on the cusp of winning, and they're by so much, and they get boomed again. Like I was talking about, like winning that first map and gaining confidence, and really kind of putting some doubt in the Justice, coming into this series. And that is definitely a map that will do that. I think you definitely. So I think positive for the Justice though was like Happy looked good on the Widow, and you can play that again here. But man, it's
You remember the first time we
to battle through these games.
Do you remember the first time we saw Aspire, Matt? For the Defiant.
I mean,
he played some like
yeah.
nasty Widowmaker. I remember like the Junkertown highlights. Don't know if we'll see it from him here, but I want to build off what you said about it being a perfect start, because all that is true. And then Vancouver get to play a map where False gets to play Sigma, and not feel bad about it for a second. And also you could leverage like a player like Aspire to play that long range hits again if you wanted to. So Masters on the Brig as well. They have the leadership figure there, the Vancouver Titans. They've got a couple of veterans here now. I hope the Washington Justice have some of those cool heads, because there's definitely a couple words that need to be shared there. If I'm Vigilante, I'm trying to throttle the guy next to me after those last few moments. So big reset here for the Justice. Let's see what they've got on defense now as Happy is watching this flank route.
Yeah, and you got Mirror on the Genji here, so they don't want to play the flank to match this. They want to play Genji with the Sojourn, and interesting, the Justice will play Sojourn with the Widowmaker. So like, you can run like a Hanzo, you can run like any really kind of like medium to longer range hit scan here, but it'll be interesting if they get into like a brawling type of scenario, right? When you get around these corners, because that Brig is going to come in huge here.
What? Sorry? Mirror just, fell in Happy's crosshairs, or so it looked. Happy was ready for that angle as well. His crosshair placement was not standard. He was actually ready to catch that Genji. That is, yeah, that individual skill. My God. Well, and the Happy story continues. What is light without shadow, Matthew? What is yin without yang?
And your comp for the Justice isn't really designed to play like in that close quarter area.
Right.
You're getting towards fighting right now, because the other team, they have that Genji, they have the Brig, like they can play a little bit closer and kind of.
Vigilante's on the Zen now. They switched he and Krillin.
Yes, now like he's off to the side, but they're not really able to. Okay, now they're going to be able to take out the Genji again, but False just lodged inside of that building there.
He's healthy enough though, and it looks like the Justice are not. Well, their composition isn't really great at pressuring him from that position, but the Titans need to find a way to sort of get him out of there alive. Need some evac, some exfil.
Yeah, I don't know how you kind of like fight behind him when he's in here. Like,
well, he just perpetually has no shield, because those hyperspheres are constantly damaging him, and now he's lost Aztec.
Yeah.
So this I mean, you need to make a decision here.
He's got to get like a kinetic graph to get out of there, and then...
No, he's playing the off-angle Sigma.
But yeah, that's fantastic as an off-angle Sigma. His entire team has to walk through that choke with a Widowmaker and his Zen.
What a great shield. Be a shame if none of you got to benefit from it. Sorry, Titans. Back you go. It's just awkward. I think, like, I'm curious to hear, like, who the prevailing voice is in that situation, because I think there's definitely a bit of a miscommunication for the Titans about, like, how to
I think
proceed.
he just got stuck, if I think. I don't know if it's as complicated as...
He could have walked out. I'm almost certain of it. He has shield kinetic grasp. He just walks away.
Yeah, possibly.
Oh, it's my estimation anyway. You might be right, Matthew. A minute and 14.
16.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy completely shutting Mirror down, basically single-handed for much of this round. Aztac. Oh, that's nasty.
Biotic grenade, yeah.
Yeah, you spotted it. Colosseo able to steal that extra damage on Massa. Frustrating for the Titans. They're losing a player despite having Transcendence. Never a good exchange, especially... Okay, that's pretty putrescent.
Yeah, I mean, what? With the way things are going, are you going to get a blade here? Like overclock of 2? Like, what is what is it?
Probably no blade. Because you're playing up against the Sigma shield, like, it's probably pretty hard for Mirror to get that value in 30 seconds.
It's going to be brutal. Oh, no, never mind. They're going to back out. Okay.
There's so much here for the Justice to play around ult-wise as well, Matthew. Gravitic Flux is here for false, though. Got him out of trouble on New Queen Street. Oh my god. Mirror is one. That is ridiculous. Yeah, he's been invisible this game. The Widowmaker play from Happy now really starting to step up. It's just as well. Decay pressured here.
Oh, okay.
Caught in the Gravitic Flux.
On here. And you have the rally going, so can you fight on the card here? That's going to be 2 for Aspire. Is
3!
Make it 3. All right, here we go.
Vancouver down to 2 players now in the Transcendence. It's going to be here for the Justice, but who, I say, will benefit from it? Mirror pulls out the blade. Huh. Well, that was an ultimate that occurred. Callio's here with a big... yeah, nice job. That was a beautiful
nice
accretion from False there. Aspire is kicking off right now.
No.
Recall there. False eventually has to fall here. It's a 1v2 for Aspire. He gets Happy. Sorry, getting healed up now. Massa back on the card. Aspire may have gone down. Unfortunately, that's where the Titans end. That got a little close, but the Justice are just able to put this to a stop.
For a second there, it looked like we were going to get a replay, right, where the Titans were going to like clutch up in OT, but the Justice put together a really good defense there. Mirror was a non-factor on the Genji. Didn't really get anything going the entire game. Aspire, no, it was pretty silent there towards the end. Nothing really got going there for the Titans. So the Justice, you kind of, after map 1, brutal loss there at the end. You come out here and you look really good at the start of the second map. You got to close the deal though, right? You got to be able to get this card over the line.
Right, so we still saw the sort of key components of that defense from the Washington Justice. Obviously, Happy's a big part of it. Decay on the Sojourn as well, something we really don't see that much, right? Normally the Tracer for him. So more of a longer range poke setup. And yeah, Justice mixing roles up, right? So Krillin playing the Ana for this map, and it's going to be Vigilante to presumably play the Zen. Yes.
Yeah, what do we got here?
Yes, inject that into my brain. Oh. Okay.
It was good for a bit.
I feel like there might be something here. Yeah. Look, little uncut gems, perhaps. Yeah, need some refining. We need Ned Schneebly come in there and sort them out. Okay, here we go.
Sim TP is probably going to be happy going to Widow. Yep. You went Decay on the Genji. Interesting. So you would play the Genji here to like put pressure on the opposing Widow, but for whatever reason, the Titans do not want to try and match the Widowmaker here.
Happy catches a glimpse of Aspire there. That's all, though. Just information.
Even if you lose the Widowmaker battle, Mitch, right?
You're bathing in that. You are actually sunning yourself inside the disruptor shot.
Even if the Titans didn't win the Widowmaker battle, it at least keeps like Happy a bit honest, right? Where he can just take these grapples and have no fear of just getting shot out of the sky. He has to at least play a little bit cautious or think about it.
But is that how you beat it? Yeah, is that how you beat someone like Happy though? I don't know. He's able to just straight up win the duel against Aspire there, and this is where the Titans crumble.
I mean, from what we've seen from Aspire in the past, like I don't think he gets like rolled by Happy in terms of Widowmaker play. Like I think there's an opportunity to trade, right? And at that point, I think I would feel pretty okay about it. But
all right, Mira.
yeah, I mean, it's a tough call to make, right? Because Happy's so good on this hero. So,
Mira no longer. Wow.
Damn.
Mira obviously hides inside that room for a time and then chooses to pop out and gets roasted. All right, Vancouver, who have you got left? Still 4 players to work with now. Mira is sheepishly making his way back to the cart. Find a grenade there on False and Masa. Yeah, this one's chalked.
I said he gained confidence from the first one. Maybe it's all gone now. So that was dominant there by the Justice. Like, that's the Justice I think people wanted to see come out today. Like, a little bit of a fire in them, wanting to show, like, hey, we're struggling, but we are not struggling, you know, this bad, right? We can still pull out some of these games. A little bit of rough start to the series in map number 1, but they bounce back big here.
Yeah, Vancouver as well, looking for answers, right? Trying a Sojourn Genji setup. The Genji, I'd be surprised if there were any final blows for Mira. It was very difficult for him to find ways to safely get in and put some pressure down on the long-range comp from the Justice. Stick around, everybody. We see a bounce back from the Washington Justice. Will they maintain that trajectory? Question mark. Tale of two extremes here in this first series of the day between the Titans and the Justice. First map, obviously, Titans sneak that victory away from the Justice. Here, the Justice are able to maintain that lead they built early, which they also did in the first map as well. So seeing them convert on a strong start is what every Washington fan should want to see for the rest of the series, Matthew.
Yeah, overall, I mean, the Justice have been the stronger team through the first two maps, right? It was just some late map heroics there in map number 1.
Oh my God, I just got some stats, Matt.
Yeah,
I got some stats. You want to hear it?
I assume they're good.
Yeah,
reaction.
they're spicy.
Ripper's coming in, by the way.
Yeah, we have some substitutions here, so we will talk over those as we keep going. So Mira on the Genji for that entire map. So final blows 0. Eliminations, none. Hero damage done, 1500. And time per Dragon Blade, 4 minutes, 23 seconds.
So, not an ideal map from Mir.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was emblematic of the overall struggles of the Titans, though. But Mira really is the one that has to put pressure on the Sojourn and the Widowmakers. So if your Genji's not able to do anything, you're not really executing on your overall game plan, right? Your game plan is to pressure the long-range backline.
Bounce back opportunity here on Midtown.
Absolutely, a big go again. All right.
Yeah, no shockwave here so far. False will stay in that tank role, and then you'll have Mag come back in here. For the Justice. So probably some Doomfizz stuff here from Washington. You're able to continue to play Sigma-based comps if you are the Titans.
And again, great news for Vancouver. It looks like that's where they're at their most comfortable. Obviously, we saw some issues there on Circuit Royale, but again, I thought Happy's Widow really having a great game. I also think that whether it's Vigilante or Krillin playing as Zenyatta, both look like they're really effective. Vigilante had great pressure on False in that previous round. I don't know what the rhyme or reason is for the Justice, just like kind of mixing up the Ana player. We have a Krillin Lucio showing you, which I know Custer absolutely loves. So yeah, again, another different look from Washington here, Matt.
Okay, so, but if you are the Titans, you feel a little bit relieved like this isn't. I mean, how would you play Widowmaker here? I feel like Widowmaker's at a huge disadvantage with how
you lock her and you hit the W key when the spawn door opens, my guy. And then you let Jesus take the wheel.
And I mean, Happy is so good on this hero that might just be kind of how they play it. So we'll get to see Happy on the Sojourn here. So they opt to not play the Widowmaker. I think that's a good call, though.
Yeah.
You are the Justice. I think it's just a bit safe.
I feel like this is the Justice comp right here, I think.
And I wonder if Mir is in today for Shockwave just because of like more flexibility, right? So far we've seen him play, I know, Genji, Tracer, Sombra, and now on the Echo, right?
It feels like he might be the anti-Doomfist player here, right? If it's the Echo or the Sombra, you know, just to sort of put pressure on Mag or make life a little bit harder for him, right? A lot of those picks tend to be annoying for Doomfist to deal with.
Farming up on the shield here. Krillin gets an early pickup on the Aztec.
That hurts if you're the Titans. That really hurts. And you're quite split, right? Because you're playing with this Sigma composition, so you really need to be careful here. And you can't group, because then you give up map control. So, slowly but surely, your players just get dragged off their horses.
Yeah, as everybody's falling now here for the Titans. Is oh, nice play auto grenade there from Skyriva. Just no follow-up as everybody else is dead. So, really fast first fight that goes in favor of the Justice. Is it enough to take it? We're going to see a contest here. It looks like the Titans do not want to contest.
Okay. Tough to play from that position, but we saw it, I think, geez, we saw it yesterday. Pretty insane
Atlanta
contest.
played really nice out of that, yeah.
Yeah. But again, you're not playing with the most mobile composition. You don't really have a Tracer, right? Your main tank has to walk or float in that direction. So fair enough, the Titans, we'll see what they try and hold False. I think that's going to be quite interesting, especially to give Aspire ideal sidelines, and also Mira, probably pretty good for Echo, actually, playing around these buildings, right? A little bit hard to kind of take him out of the air.
It's true. And you're walking into you know, the Zenyatta, the Sojourn, and the Echo damage on top of just the constant spam from the Sigma. So maybe this is a composition that can put together a good hold here a little bit early, because they need to burn some time off the clock. It's a really fast first point take there for Washington.
All right. We know what the Echo Tracer matchup can look like sometimes. Pretty good for Tracer. Decay can kind of frustrate Mirror as much as he can. He can get a pulse on them. It's not impossible. That one pulls up a little bit short for Decay, but Happy gets a Spire. You saw a Spire go to the high ground there, Matt, try and find a better advantage. It doesn't pay off. Gravitic Flux did come in, but Nano Boost was just deployed on a Krillin who has a Transcendent. So everything's really here for the Justice now if they want a longer fight. The Titans need to be decisive now.
Yeah, Zalamir's in a tough spot, just getting drilled by Krillin from the side. It's going to be the Transcendence that comes out, so...
Hey, they followed up in a sleep dart. Beautiful.
Yeah, so you're going to lose this fight. If you're the Titans, but the Justice had to, it was an expensive fight though for Washington, right? Had to unload pretty much everything. You come back, duplicate, an overclock, a Transcendence, you think you get a hold here, right? If you're the Titans, then you start to get the clock down to like about 2 minutes and you put yourself in a position to maybe stop this from getting a second checkpoint.
But what's Echo like when the attackers have this high ground, Matt? How do you maneuver into, I guess Miro just like gets close and tries to pop up on him?
Yeah.
It seems kind of awkward for him.
It's hard. I mean, there's nobody to really go in and engage with him, right? He's kind of on his own, but that's a huge pick. I was going to say, you may not even need to use any ult.
Yes.
See the duplicate come out, but
yes.
I know. Aztec with that early first kill, that's massive. That allows them to hold on to their Transcendence and Overclock, build towards a Nano. Or that kill allows you to save some of those ultimates going into the next fight.
Oy.
They get a kill on Decay here late, so that was, you know, they're able to hold. You look at that fight as maybe the one that swings in their favor.
Yeah. Re-establish that high ground now. Mirror can be much safer. Look at him still stick to the right-hand side as much as possible. I love the Zen dupe. Just shows how scary Zen is, and Krillin just reinforces that point.
He's got so many early kills in these fights.
And then Destructo Orbs. Nicely done with a right click. Don't laugh, you don't know the reference.
I don't think anybody knows your references.
It's not true. Someone got the School of Rock reference last round.
And then you just have to laugh at your own jokes to make it seem
Life never gets boring that way, man. All right, Vigilante Nano on Mag here. Mirror getting pressured pretty heavily, gonna have to back away now as that Doomfist gets a little close for comfort. They're just trying to bully their way onto that high ground here. Mirror might look to try and circumvent, go low ground maybe, put pressure down, but Mag has to get out and Happy's here with the bottom. Excuse me. Aztec is an omnic pancake after that one.
Yeah, he has it rough as you know, he's able to put down a lot of damage, but not able to keep him alive. But you know, from where we were to where we are now, this is pretty good for the Titans, right? It was like 4 minutes plus on the clock. You get it down to below 2 minutes, 2 minutes and 47 and counting here for the Justice to take this last checkpoint. Now, there's some
the Mag Wrecking Ball
here. Yeah, there's some tough angles here you can hold and make it difficult for the Justice to complete the map.
I'll tell you someone who has no angles. Wrecking Ball. Gonna switch off and though, fair enough. Because it's a circle, it's a sphere.
Yeah, I know. He's a
okay,
ball.
just checking. Okay, Mag obviously maybe having switched there just to try and get back to the fight a bit sooner.
You gotta
get
get
back to the Doom
Raider from season 1 back. You know,
the season 1.
Right in your joke.
No, I don't think my jokes in season 1 were pretty average. I won't lie.
Yeah, I don't remember any of them.
No. The Spire with Overclock here. That's all the Titans really working with now. So Happy gonna go first, and well, now Overclock's off the table now. Spire wants to push up, or rather Happy. And that's beautiful. Patience there, taking the head off Skyripper. Pressure from False, but Happy's able to get away pretty comfortably. Very clean sequence from Happy.
So you'll get the car rolling yet again here for the Justice as you make it around this final turn. Just a pulse bomb available. Man, Mirror's like had to play so many different heroes. You almost wonder, like, did they play really Aspire and Shockwave like throughout most of the season thus far? That damage dealer combo, they've looked quite good. What it kind of looked like in this series is you're going to lose Aspire and Aztec so fast.
Yeah, Skyripper down to a pulse as well. Decay starting to stretch his legs a little bit. Great sleep on False. Follow-up, of course, was there once more, and looks like the Vancouver Titans after. Yeah, like you said, really good hold on second, Matt. It's going to be over a minute for the Justice, all said and done.
Yeah, and if you're the Titans, you don't really get a use out of any of those big ultimates you had there towards the end. It's a really rough way for the map to end, because you had an opportunity to dwindle some of the clock there with some key ultimates, right? All they had was a pulse bomb, but you lose some players really early and fast, right next to each other, and just no way to bounce back from it. But yeah, I do really wonder, where is Shockwave today? Because I think Shockwave's been pretty good throughout the season. Mirrors looked good on the Doomfist too, so you could even put him in on the Doomfist and kind of mirror or get close to some of these comps, and I know maybe it would be a little bit easier, better to play.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, there aren't too many teams that will play Sigma 3 maps in a row, right? Especially with the way the map pool is. Do you think there are just objectively better picks on at least some of the 3 maps we've seen so far than playing the Sigma map? Is it like a comfort thing for the Titans, or do they think that's because I remember Deepay saying he really just wants to focus on what his team is good at, right? What their real strengths are. Yep. I feel like somehow there's a bit of shoehorning here of the Sigma, maybe.
Yeah, it might be, and I think you if you're gonna shoehorn the Sigma into comps, you probably need Mirror's flexibility to be able to play so many different things around it.
Yeah.
But if it's not working, eventually you got to move off, right? Once you have enough footage and just actual live gameplay of it not working, eventually you got to try something else or go to something else. Where no, I really like when they have Mirror in on the Doomfist. He was a good Doomfist even as a DPS, right? And now you put him in as the tank, and he's able to get aggressive with a Spire and Shockwave. I thought they looked pretty good using that.
So the Titans are locked into this permutation, at least for now. Obviously, maybe a late sub, but that's more of a Justice trick than anyone else's, as we know. Whoa, that's nasty. Nice combo there. A lot of that damage came from Krillin Salvo, who again is just leading the way. Again, Zen is so good, and we have some insane flex support players. Dungnunjin and Krillin, just to name 2 of them. That'll slow the Titans down.
He's been in the league for a while now, and I actually think this season, even with an up and down Justice team, it's probably the best we've seen him play. I think his Zen has been really strong.
Yeah, he was on that second permutation of the Spitfire, right? The one with Bubble, MCD on that team. Obviously not nearly as successful as their predecessors, but Krillin stayed around until now and is getting to really demonstrate what he's made of. It's a great little story for him. So where the Titans push on here? Are they trying to get that high ground, at least for the Sigma, but chase it down again.
I don't think you're getting much value for the Sigma moving through the choke here. And when the Sigma moves through the choke, the Ana Zen have to play so close and around him, because the other team's going to come in with that pressure, right? Where you need the accretion, the kinetic grasp to soak up some of that damage. We even seen Doomfist do a really nice job peeling in certain situations. I think we saw Hawk yesterday with the power block do a really nice job.
How
damage?
How is False supposed to hold the high ground if he keeps getting Doom punched off of it?
He can't make it to the high ground. What this allows the Justice to do as well is it's so much easier to isolate targets, right? And you see almost every fight, even in the ones that the Titans ended up coming out on top, they are fighting from a player down. They always have a player advantage, it seems. Aztec able to pull out here, though.
Sorry, certified Doomfist hater reporting in. Zen is very nasty right now. Again. All right, big Bionade to the backline from Vigilante. My God, cuff him up. Sky Reaper removed there. Another pulse bomb. Goes a little wayward, but Mirror goes down once more. The Echo not finding anything. False, though, good timing to go for this Gravitic Flux. Unfortunately, there's a lack of teammates to follow up, and now Mag will do what he's done for most of the round, is bully this Sigma, and the sequence is the same. Sigma plays on those stairs, Mag gets behind him, knocks him off to the low ground, and then Sigma is out of position and has no teammates. It's so hard to play against if you're False.
Well, especially because False has to work pretty hard for that position. It's not he's able to just walk over and take it. So you work.
Oh yeah, he has to run through the trenches.
Position. Yeah, and then you just get the position just removed from you pretty much instantly. Where, yeah, that's a tough spot to be in if you're False. But what, 39 seconds on the clock, nothing available for the Titans here.
They need Mirror. Mirror has to be able to get in position for a pick here. Oh, another huge Bionic Grenade on 2. That's going to be traded at the very least, but Sky Reaper getting taken down. False is not getting healed up. Yep.
No, and I'd love to see the stats. Like, it just seems like every fight is starting with the Titans losing a player.
Yep.
Like, we can talk and argue about comps all day long. If you are going to lose a player first in every single fight, it does not even matter what you're playing, right? With the kind of the nature of the game.
Krillin is pretty incredible. That is, he is so good. Yeah, he knows it too. Beautiful stuff. Vancouver, like you said, facing, you know, a player disadvantage at the start of every single fight. It's not, it doesn't even feel like Overwatch at that point. It's something completely different.
Well, it's so difficult to fight as a player down in Overwatch 2. I would say probably even more when you're playing a composition like the Titans, because it's so easy to collapse on you then with a player advantage. Difficult to keep False alive, difficult to keep the supports alive. You've got to do a better job here for the Titans coming up next. And they're still in this series, right? Still an opportunity to get it to a Game 5.
Yeah, stunning stuff from Krillin there as well. Double-digit final blows. 10-1 is Krillin in that round. Happy's 13, Decay's 15. So Krillin in the mix there. Stunning Zen play. Very solid from the Justice as the Titans bounce off again. Stick around for map number 4. you an Overwatch League fan? Do you like art? Well, look no further because the Fan Art Gallery wants you. Share your art, celebrating the Midseason Madness for a chance to be featured on broadcast and bonus points for anybody that can create an interpretation of this series in print. I'm very curious to see what you come up with. Been quite the run so far here in this matchup between the Washington Justice and the Vancouver Titans. Now, if you can't handle the Justice at their new Queen Street, you don't deserve them at their Midtown, apparently. They've bounced back quite nicely.
There's nothing more than I need than a Game 5 in this series. I absolutely need it. It needs to go the distance. I think, look, the Titans, they haven't had a good, last two maps. I think the Justice have played really, kind of
very
how
tight.
we expect them to normally play. Yeah, really tight. They looked really good the last two maps. Opportunity here on Control to play something maybe a little bit different. Masa comes in this time for Aztec. So Skyrapper will stay in. Masa will come back. So that's interesting because usually, Aztec will play the Zen. You have like Masa, he'll either play like a Lucio or a Brig or something. Skyrapper usually stays in to play the Ana. So does this mean we're going to get a compositional change? What is this signal here for the Titans?
So
interested in?
You probably want Lucio on Ilios, to be fair. It could be Ana Lucio Winston from False. You could probably replicate that same comp with the Diva as well. That's copium. I mean, that's just me hoping to see that from False because I know obviously he's a bit of a dynamo when it comes to some of those off takes. And then we've already seen it, we got to see it from the shot, if I'm not mistaken here. So Ilios comes up. Vancouver Titans again. The principles from DPay has been we're going to find what we're really good at, and then we're just going to really play to that particular strength and try and derive as much opportunity to do so from every situation. So we'll see what the Titans go with here. I think Sky Reaper obviously designated Ana. I think having Aztec out though kind of hurts. I mean, having that Zen presence there was pretty scary. I mean, you saw what Krillin, Vigilante have been able to do in this series. Aztec's also a bit of a standout.
This would be interesting. I would really like to see maybe this come out from the Titans. So right now, False hovering over the Diva. We saw, what was it, Kaluge yesterday played the Diva, especially against these Doomfist comps, and was able to play a little bit more defensive and play it pretty well.
The Moira is interesting, though, I will say. They might play a bit more aggressively than Kaluge did. If you recall, Kaluge was playing very peel-oriented.
And the Moira is a little bit of a... is it a bit safer of a pick than the Ana, right? Because you're constantly losing players first. You're getting dove constantly in Decay, and Happy are able to kind of have their way with the backline. Moira is able to have a little bit more self-sustain, harder to hit. Obviously offers a lot of just HPS, so maybe a little bit of a safer option here.
Right. Yeah, this is a very unique composition from the Titans. See how it plays out again. They really want to try and start the fight, and False is, looking good already.
I already like it better.
Yeah, you might have that map 5 you were asking for. It is another push map, bear in mind, but the Vancouver Titans here, this feels much more them, if I'm honest.
You also wonder about the Justice's mid-game adjustments, right? How do they react to this? Have they seen it a lot in scrims? Is this something I know they haven't had much experience playing against, right? And you're just kind of theory crafting on the fly here. You'll have Krillin now switch off of the Zen and play the Brig. I feel like that is just a win with how good he's been on the Zen. Just getting him off of that's huge.
Happy wants to pressure a Spy here. Happy Tracer is a vibe, no doubt about it. Decay will show us the Genji, of course. Okay, again, the dive from the Titans, they started off really well. They get Krillin straight away. Biotic Grenade, sure, comes out from Vigilante, but it's not followed up on at all.
And a lot of those first kills I was talking about in fights, and you were hyping him up, were Krillin, right? Krillin with the Zen Orbs getting those kills at range.
Yeah.
You don't have that threat anymore, right? There's not a threat of your Tracer or Genji here getting one shot. This could be really good for the Titans. Right now, above 50% on the point. They've looked great thus far on this comp.
Yeah, I really enjoy it. Ana, stuck. Vigilante down. Again, the Titans have that player advantage early here. Happy seeks to remedy that, but isn't able to quite get close enough, and this is going to be another wash. But the Justice don't know what to do here.
You can see the pace of the game change, though, right? Like how, for the last 2 maps, really it's been the Justice. The team's been extremely aggressive, setting the pace. The Titans look all over the place, can't get through the choke. Players dropping.
Well, they're playing Sigma, so they have to be, you know, kind of slow.
But right now they can set the pace of the game and tone of the game, and the Justice have no way. They're just not reacting.
All right, Blade here for Mirror. Hoping for a big one. Master's gone down to a pulse here from Happy, but Sky Reaper sends a damage orb in the direction of Vigilante, of course. Coalescence here coming out from Sky Reaper now. Point gets flipped. The Justice were able to take an elimination in that fight. But the Titans just want to kind of clean them up here. Love this pace of game, but will it blow up in their face? Yes, it probably will.
Yeah, so it looked like they wanted to basically give up the point and then double back to play for it. They're just not able to secure those kills in time. Like, they push forward to try and get those kills, and they're not able to get them really at all. And there's like players coming out of the spawn. It was just a bit messy, but an opportunity. You just need one fight to win, and you have a sound barrier, right? You can get aggressive behind the sound barrier. I know you get a kill or 2, and that's it.
False again looks to try and take residence in that small side room. A lot of pressure on Krillin once more. Sound barrier for the Titans, so they go a little bit deeper. Bionic Grenade on False here. He might have to self-destruct in a moment. Stunned up briefly. Sky Reaper taken down by their Blade. So the Justice also wanted a close quarters fight. Get value out of Decay's ultimate.
All right, so now you start to worry a bit if you're the Titans. Just self-destruct. You're going to hit about 70% probably before this next fight kicks off. I think it's got to be Aspire, right? Got to connect with a Pulse Bomb. You know, on the, whether it's Vigilante, Krillin, like, got to get one of these supports out of the equation early if your team's going to have a chance here.
Last time Aspire had the bomb, it was a neat stick on Vigilante that really started the fight off well. So expect Aspire to be pretty judicious on how he lays this one down. You know, pressure from Happy. Annoying for Aspire because he wants to be sneaking up on a target with his Pulse, but recalls there, hoping that Happy's keeping tabs on him. Aspire does not like that. He was hoping to be free of Happy after that recall.
No, and they've wasted so much time here. I thought, like, you know, the 70% this next fight would kick off. Everybody just going to run around the outside. You're going to have 97%. It's going to be last fight territory here. Self-destruct was used there by False, but he gets hit with a Pulse Bomb in Baby Diva form, so he's out of the fight.
Very clean there from Decay. Still that Pulse from Aspire is going to be coming out back into the fight in a moment. It's a stick. It's good on Mag. Mirror now with the Blade looks to go forward, and Vigilante falls. Mirror doesn't need to go for a third, and the Titans will steal the round away. What a roller coaster of emotions.
It was not pretty there for a bit. It looked like they were going to drop the spaghetti, but they were able to hold on in the end. I think overall, though, I like this comp switch, though, from the Titans. I think this is a really smart move. I know whether they've had this plan, they've cooked it up. I know in the little bit of, like, kind of the halftime we have. I really like the decision-making here to switch this up. The Justice, I thought they started to figure out towards the end, put it together, but still too late. Where the Titans here, they can come out with a different look here. They can play the Batiste with it, get the Immortality field as you have that close quarter point to fight over.
3, 2, 1.
All right, the Batiste here. I'm going to be keeping an eye on that as well. Sky Reaper, not so easy, right? I mean, Mirror and Aspire tend to move rather quickly, and False will need to be ground-born if he wants that healing. Another Happy Tracer round coming at you.
Yeah, and look at how Diva can just access that high ground so easy as compared to, like, the Doom. Doom can obviously do it, but has to use all of his ability to do so as Decay is going to drop early, so huge first pick off there.
Great consistent pressure from Sky Reaper.
Yeah, and False can control this high ground so easy with the defense matrix. Can't just be, like, bullied off, can constantly you know, jump down, go back up, contest again as Mir now goes in on the Genji.
Beautiful. The Titans are again. It's okay. We're going to go forward. We're going to start this fight off now. We have the point, and we have a staggered engagement that we're ahead in. Very good start for Vancouver. It's about now maintaining this lead.
Man, it's the Justice just don't seem like they have an answer for this. it seems like they're a bit thrown off. And I think they're thrown off, and then also you get Krillin off of the Zen, where he's been so good and so much extra damage, right? Coming out from that Zen throughout the series. That goes out of the way. You're starting to see some of these first kills not go always in the way of the Justice. As Decay gets really low, he's going to make it out with his life, but you're going to lose Mag on the point. You're fighting now at even strength here for the Titans, and you see them coming out on top a lot.
And Aspire's occupying the backline entirely here.
Yeah.
It's not so much you can do for the rest of them. Titans okay, so they have their immortality field to cover the pulse bomb, and Aspire is another stick there. He's done a great job keeping tabs, but Decay's going to be able to get rid of him.
You're okay for this, for the Titans, because like the Justice just keep kind of throwing bodies at the point. They actually end up flipping it here for a short period of time. Which is kind of wild, because you still have players on the point for the Titans, but the Titans now have to use ultimates to get back into this. I was going to say the Titans are in a great spot by just like staggering coming in from Washington, but giving up the point there when you had like multiple players alive and around it, that's a bit of a yikes.
Yeah, I mean, the Justice were able to flip that point at the start of the fight where they had that player advantage, and the Titans were so busy engaging, right? Still, though, anything could happen at moments like this, and the Titans are going to come up pretty clean as Decay, that blade, unfortunately no value there. It was Mag who got the nano from Vigilante.
Yep. So Decay now will go over and play Echo. So Echo, the focusing beam, pretty good against D.Va. Constantly pressuring D.Va out. And you don't have the blade anymore, right? So no reason to stay on the Genji.
Decay Echo. Well, Happy stays on that. Tracer, of course, having the pulse bomb is crucial. Happy spots a couple of people playing that high ground here. The backline. Now he knows there could be an immortality field deployed immediately if there's a pulse here. Good damage from Sky Reaper as Happy's trying to chase down the Baptiste. Even the Doomfist is looking for him now. Sky Reaper has an immortality field in play, and in the meantime, the backline crumbles for the Justice.
Yeah, Sky Reaper just lives for long enough, right? Ends up getting to his health back. The regenerative burst is stronger now of Baptiste. And the immortality field occupies two players for a really long time. And now Happy's got to get to the point, try and keep this going.
Gets the touch, but that's all for now. You can see Mag beelining his way over there as well. He'll be face-to-face with Aspire, quickly jumps back out. Titans have the players on the point, but they lose Mira, who goes too deep into enemy territory. Krillin's on the scene now with the rally in play, but Decay's brought down by Aspire. Krillin whipping it back and forth. Mars able to find Vigilante, not sure where that even happened. There's going to be some pressure on Krillin on the point now. Mars is finally brought down by Happy. He's going to be able to double back to the point now. It really leaves Aspire on his own. So have to be the Titans giving this up.
Yeah, you're going to lose this point here for the Titans. So Mira comes back on the Genji, so just keeping this going in OT. They're not really building up any ultimates either. So the Justice, Mitch, it's really that percentage that they gain by flipping the point and just extending it for a bit, that could be huge for them, right? You know, imagine here if you're starting this off at like 15% or something, you got a real big hill to climb. But 47% is about where they started at here. You like 2 fights and you end up winning this point.
Immortality field there again. Oh, they're getting rolled. Absolutely rolled. Sky Reaper yet another elimination on Happy. And that'll about do the round here. Nothing to be done as the Justice get absolutely cleaned up. I think they've realized that the Titans are easily a match for them now. Only one player here. So one player on the recap. I guess that doesn't really matter. Mag going to be redirected there by Masa, but he's able to keep a touch for overtime. Happy, pulse bomb, no good. Gets eaten up by False. Nice defense matrix play there, and here comes a blade from Mira, like it was even needed. Happy removed after comes out of that recall, and the rest of the Washington Justice will collapse. The Vancouver Titans are forced to map 5 here. Really solid play and some innovation on Ilios. Great to see from a team who's still looking for that first win.
And now I think the pressure is on the Justice to come up with something, as a strategy or what's going to be their go-to against this type of comp. Pushes this final map. Colosseo, you can play some of those long-range hit scans, right? With the Widowmaker, Hanzo, even like a Ashe potentially. That D.Va could give it problems, so I'm really interested to see what the Justice, their counter to this is.
Yeah, the Washington Justice going to need to have something up their sleeve. They look good for most of the push map at the start of the series. They're going to hope to be able to do it for the entirety of the one coming up. It's map 5 here, and the Titans, again, could have their first win of the season on the docket. Stick around to see how this one ends. The stage is set for an epic culmination in a series that on paper didn't actually mean anything really in the grand scheme of qualification for the mid-season madness. But these two have brought some madness of their own. Hold on, Matt, don't interrupt me. On a roll here. I honestly think that we didn't really maybe expect this to be the Titans' first win opportunity. You said you thought it would be against Paris.
Yeah, but I did think it would be against Paris, but with the way that Justice have been playing, I thought they had a fair shot today. I kind of agreed. I think Costa picked them, right? I kind of agreed.
He did.
He
cynically picked them, but yes.
And now we have Colosseo who will come in for Mag here for this game 5.
The map 5 sub.
No other substitutions across the board, so that'll be it. You mentioned, I agree, they don't have anything to play for in terms of like mid-season madness qualification, right? But Titans, you finish out the first half of the season with a win. You're really kind of looking at like, hey, T3, let's try and get top 8, qualify, and then make up enough league points to get into that top 10, give yourself a kind of puncher's chance at playoffs. For the Justice though, like, you've had so much pressure on yourself with this team, and just community chatter, everybody's kind of talking about it, having opinions and whatnot. A little bit of a layup of a game, it looks like, here at the end of your stage, right? Give yourself some confidence going into a break. I know the other team's 0-11. To lose a game like this and then just kind of have that time to dwell on it and whatnot, that's pretty brutal. Where I think, this is a huge game for them in just terms of like their entire season, right? Because games like this can really like derail a whole year, right? Kind of spiral things out of control. In a situation where it already feels like it might be spiraling. So a huge map here for the Justice.
Yeah, Washington hoping just to pump the brakes a little bit on that sort of backslide if they possibly can. So the mix-up here means we have Sigma for Colosseo.
Yeah, but this is like, Brad, from Atlanta was on Twitter and saying like investing in one tank, right? And I completely agree with it. For the Titans, this is a blatant tell there's going to be a Sigma comp on the other side, right?
Yes.
Because they know when these subs come in, this is what it's going to be. And the Titans can crab the composition around it, right? One that they feel plays really well into it. And they'll kick things off here with a Winston dive with a Tracer Genji.
False on the Winston. Plenty of this we saw from him earlier on in the season. Mixed results, I think it's safe to say. But up against a Sigma comp, he wants to go straight over Colosseo's head and keep beating the heck out of Krillin.
So I think the Winston comp here, it's a bit easier to kind of dive and get in there rather than the Doomfist. And look at this, you're kind of like pressuring Krillin back. He knows that the Tracer is looking for him now, but knows that there's a possibility of the Genji and the Winston coming over the top.
Well, the Vancouver Titans are ignoring the bot. They're not even bothering with that right now. They just go around the outside and try and find a pick-off. They get rid of Colosseo here, so how the Justice are supposed to, sort of invest here in a fight, hard to say. Without Sky Reaper, though, there's no one to heal False. So Decay, he's very astutely realizes he can actually just overextend and get that kill.
So this is something nobody had on their bingo board. Colosseo switches to the D.Va here. So now we're going to have a D.Va v D.Va matchup here with these two teams. And I agree, once you lose Sky Rippa, they're going to be very difficult to bounce back because he's like your largest source of healing when you're playing that Lucio. So how does this play now in D.Va versus D.Va mirror matchups, right? We've seen like D.Va versus like Doom and a little bit of Sigma. How does it play against each other? It'll be quite interesting.
I think any excuse for False to play D.Va, he's happy to here, so. Callio's trying to peel, Krillin is there, though Aspire doesn't know what hit him.
You're also seeing the impact of Krillin able to play the Zen now, right? Last map on Ilios was kind of forced off that Zen, but some of the stuff that the Titans were doing gets back on the Zen now, and you see his impact, right? Early pickoff, Discord in, D-Mech on False. He got a pick in the last fight. Just the extra damage amp coming in huge here for the Justice.
Yeah, he's kind of insane. Sky Rip is down again as well, so False now can't really engage. He knows he'll get blown up by the Discord Orb and all that damage coming. Yep, Discord and Biotic Grenade, so very dangerous for that D.Va to try and play around this scenario. There's a lot of free progress here, and the Justice can get past the sticky part of this map here.
Mitch, this is a lot like how map 1 was, right?
That's right.
Justice get off to like a pretty strong start.
I know where you're going with this. Yeah. Yeah.
Still a lot of time, right? With push at the added time limit, right?
Yeah.
7+ minutes on the clock.
And we know what happens when you get on a roll on this map, right? Yeah, it has to be Transcendence there for Krillin, but Aspire, that's classy. Vigilante gets the kick me sign stuck to his forehead. Both Arnas are out of the picture here. So you have a Lucio versus a Zen, with the bot pushing in favor of Vancouver.
This is now we're getting interesting with these comps. The Batiste coming in. So the Batiste was really good, I thought, on Ilios because of the nature of the point, specifically on Lighthouse. Here on Colosseo, I guess if you want to brawl and just kind of go out in that neutral, like the Immortality field is huge. But this is one where you may have thought like, do you bring back in Aztec, right, to play that Zen?
Mirror there with a blade. Finds two. No sound barrier in play for the Justice. No support ultimates to speak of now. And this is where the Vancouver Titans look to equalize. Body's a little further than neutral, so they can make some decent progress here. Decay's going to have to be looking for another pulse. Oh, he built another pulse. That's all right. That's pretty quick. Cassidy.
Happy now goes to Cassidy. Okay, this is bonkers. Like we're just seeing comms and heroes come out that like we haven't seen really in a while. As that'll be a self-destruct. They go to get hit Happy. All right, so they're just chucking it in there. Gonna connect with the Cassidy. Doesn't have the best mobility. Vigilante now. He's over to the Baptiste because nobody's following up any of his sleep darts, so may as well.
I wasn't ready for that.
Chaos.
All right. 50 plays 53 though. The Titans are in a position to keep moving up. Happy. Very aggressive here. Maybe concerned about Tracer. I mean, Mag Grenade, I like that. Very cute. Not quite sharp enough though, but the aim is good. Yeah.
Aim's good. Able to pick up a few kills here. The Titans get close to matching. They'll get another fight here in the mid. I think the Cassidy in combination, like the amount of damage Justice are going to lay down, right? With the Batiste Zen Cassidy combo, it's going to be a lot for the Titans to deal with. Where you have Masa still in the Lucio. There's not really many options that he could go to, right? Like, does a Brig even make sense here? Like the sight lines are so long, it's tough to close the gap. Especially with some long-range damage dealers on the other side. It almost feels like you're kind of stuck on this Lucio, committed to it for the rest of the game.
And you may be right about that. But again, Master on the Lucio doesn't feel terrible. Happy, the dive on Happy is extreme. That's why the Immortality field's there, though. Nicely done by Vigilante. Also an air matrix thrown down. How to make use of that as Happy's able to fend off his assailants. And Justice should be back on the push now.
Yeah, so you just have Aspire here. The Mag Grenade connects right to him. It's a few times now we've seen Happy when the recall comes in, able to predict and land that Mag Grenade. As a lot of people have said, like, Cassie isn't as good as like killing those flankers anymore, but if you can get some of their cooldowns down, the Magnetic Grenade is even easier to hit than the Flashbang, right? It kind of like auto locks and it does so much damage, you're probably able to just kill them instantly at that point.
Especially if a Tracer's coming out of recall in an extended fight.
With any type of damage, right?
All right, so the Justice weren't able to extend their lead with that last push. I mean, both barricades are under bridges here.
That's the thing. The Justice are like winning some of these fights, but the Titans are moving the bot so far into their territory that they're not even like extending the amount of meters that they've been able to push. So we're still kind of basically set in the same scenario as we were like 2 fights ago.
Oh my gosh. Where are the Titans? It's like a Scooby-Doo sequence where they just come out of random doors and go into other ones in a hallway. I don't know. They just disappeared there.
Oh, we got a blade here. Yeah, that wasn't great.
Well, the Deadeye counted them.
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm saying that. They all ran away from the Deadeye, the Immortality field. They didn't want to chance it. And then their sound barrier ran out.
3 minutes, I was going to say, this is the opportunity for the Titans to make changes. The Spire will now play the Sojourn here, so probably has a little bit of an advantage versus the Cassidy. And Mira will continue to play the Genji. What would you even think about, like, I mean, you couldn't play the Baptiste with it, but like, could you play like Echo here if you were like Mir, right? Like, like the Echo and the Sojourn putting lots of pressure on the Diva, like, Cassidy, not really a great answer for either of those heroes, like an opportunity there, but still it feels like a little bit of a reach. I
mean, playing Echo in this neutral part of the map against Cassidy probably doesn't feel very fun at all. You have to constantly be sort of trying to flank, right?
Yeah, you would need to play from the outside and like go over these kind of like how we're seeing from Vigilante's POV, these right side like windows, you need to like kind of use the flight to go over there and lay damage down from the side.
Yeah, you're asking for it either way. I think you make that switch. The Blade's been pretty effective for Mira at times in this round, even without any possible mana boost. Volt's trying to keep tabs on Colosseo here. Will be self-destructing in that little corner. All right, we're back to neutral here, and that front spawn has been negated, but a decent lead for the Justice with just under 2 minutes left in the round. False zoning self-destruct as Mira gets rid of Vigilante's immortality field. Now the peel is on. You see False doubling back to his backline as Colosseo gets demeched, and here come the Titans.
You're not going to want to hear me say it, but you start to look at some of the ults coming up. You're only 15 meters behind. You'll have a beat, you'll have an overclock, and you're going to have a blade coming up. You can take some of this high ground control, right?
I can't believe it.
This is not over yet. You're going to have the butt scratch here coming up, which is going to be the bot's going to stop for a sec. This will probably be where the Justice want to take this fight. If you're able to win this, though, for the Titans, anything is possible.
Dangerous Aspire looking hot to trot here. Able to pop that ultimate and pressure Happy down by using the bridge as a sideline. The bot got stuck away for a time, but there'll be a butt scratch here, I think, either way. Here's a Transcendence now. The Justice know they've got to commit, but it's going to be a sound barrier for the Titans.
All in, yeah.
They have an air matrix as well, but Aspire finds Vigilante. Great open to the fight, and here's Mira's Blade. It's going to be enough. No kills, but sure. Decay going to be able to keep his distance, stay alive. Happy's there with the mag grenade. False needs to get that kill on the high ground, and so he does. Now it's 2v2. Decay trying to drop down. Okay, this is self-destruct for False. That is so big.
Fire hits the shot.
Yep, unbelievable. Got rid of the Tracer, backing away to get a health pack, and they're going to do it. They're actually going to do it. 27 seconds left in the round. The Titans are in butt scratch as well. It's even Stevens now.
All right, so they've taken the lead officially.
They have a lead.
Now they're going to back up. They're going to back up. They don't want to fight here at this corner. There's no reason to. They can go back to that middle of the map, Mitch, and they have the Amp Matrix here to use.
7 seconds left in the round. Sky Reaper down.
Another pick.
Immortality field from Vigilante going to be removed here as False somehow finds himself face-to-face with Krillin. Callio's able to get the remake kill on Mira, no less. And the Vancouver Titans have a chance still.
You have another fight here if you're the Titans.
They got no ults.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. You look at maybe Aspire can pick one off the railgun shot on the way in. Maybe that's kind of what you're looking at here. You're going to have to get on and contest, though.
They're going to touch.
There's a
no!
Come on!
You can't be serious!
The butt scratch does not activate there. And... Oh, my... No. What in the world? Yeah, so once you hit the butt scratch once...
Yeah, you don't hit it again. Yeah.
Checkpoint. It doesn't activate again and do the same maneuver. And maybe they thought it did and just had more time to get to it, but I mean that is like oh man, like you mounted this like sick 2v2 fight. Aspire able to kill Decay, hit a shot, right? You got False wins a 1v1 against Calios. You take the lead, right? You back out, you have one more fight. And to just that's yeah, I don't know. That's not good.
Well, it's not like I had it's not like I had like a line for the Titans finally getting their first win
for the Titans,
or anything.
though. That's got to sting for the Titans, though.
Like, I would say like this
you don't have that game in the bag per se. Like you didn't need to take that fight like in the close corridor like there with the Batiste, right? You could have wrapped around and played that choke, right? Where teams like don't want to push forward for the high ground. Like you could have played that area with the Amp Matrix. You would have had a much better like sight line, like where they had to run into you. They kind of played it like that short door. And even if you played it at that choke, you would have got a second fight anyway. It's the end game scenario. That's tough.
Yeah, look, I think both teams, that was mentally that series was a
I don't
real
think anybody's
struggle.
happy. Like both teams aren't happy with like the Justice win, but I feel like both teams are pretty unhappy with the result. Like, is that odd to say? Like if you're the Justice, like you feel like you kind of stole one against the team 2-11, and if you're the Titans, you played well enough to get a win here today, and maybe they thought that would activate and not in a lot of overtime push scenarios, and obviously didn't. and just a little bit of a mental blunder at the end. But yeah, it's a tough one for both sides. I'm honest.
I don't know. Yeah, let's talk about player of the match, shall we? There was definitely a couple standouts here across both teams. I've got to give it to Krillin, though. Quite the series on the Zenyatta from start to finish. Again, key first picks. Another player showing that the buffs to Zen are pretty damn good. Really taking this hero to the next level.
When he was on Zen, it was noticeable how much better the Justice were. Obviously, the damage amp with the Discord, making it easier for Decay and Happy to pick up some kills. But even just his damage at Zen felt like he was able to get first picks in so many different fights and turn the tide and really end fights before they even started. I thought Krillin played great today.
Yeah, really, really impactful. Again, up against, a player like Aztac in some of these maps, and we got some really exciting duels between the two of them. But, also generally like really, really solid healing output as well. Zen kind of can do it all right now. It's very, very hard to be pressured down by, things like Tracer and such. We're seeing, Zen handling themselves up against Doomfist even. So this is what you want when a hero moves into a power position like this while getting some really nice buffs. You want a player to immediately be able to take that and run with it. It's another weapon for the Washington Justice. And finally, a weapon that's not aimed at their bloody foot. Let's have a look at those final moments here, Matt. You talk me through this. You explain this to me.
Yeah, so the bot does not stop at the nipple and OT, right?
Right.
Once you or anytime you've actually kind of pushed to it, it won't stop again. So yeah, there's no. I believe like everybody's like alive at that moment.
But there were players on the bridge.
In there, like there were players on the bridge, right, who were watching them come in.
There was. So I think Decay was in that room that leads down to where the point was, and maybe he's just forced them away. Krillin even typed C9 in chat there. He's not really sure what happens.
Yeah.
I'm booking therapy right now, so
we'd have to see it from the overhead POV to really kind of get a sense of it. But
yeah.
From that one, it does not look good. Yeah.
Or you could just erase that from my memory. That would also be fine. I'm happy for you to lobotomize me, at least for in that part. We're going to go over to the truck and hear what our friends have to say about this. I know Scott's going to be in shambles, so this is not a segment you want to miss out on. We'll see you later on.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Upper Deck, the official trading card of the Overwatch League. And by TeamSpeak, the official voice supplier of the Overwatch League.
Welcome to Game Break, everybody. I'm here joined now by Decay from Washington Justice. Decay, congratulations on the win. Now, I feel like this was a lot closer than expected, but in the end, you guys were the winners. How'd you guys get the win today over the Vancouver Titans? 자, 오늘 승리 일단 너무나 축하드리고요, DK 선수. 그리고 오늘 되게 생각보다 굉장히 접전이었던 것 같습니다. 밴쿠버와 상대로. 하지만 끝에 승자는 우리 또 워싱턴 팀이었기 때문에 오늘 승리 어떻게 거두시게 되셨나요?
솔직히 마지막 세트는 좀 쉽게 이길 줄 알았거든요. 상대가 뭘 할지 좀 예상도 하기도 했고, 근데 이제 마지막에 거의 추가 시간 비비는 상황이 왔는데 거기서 저는 진 줄 알았어요. 졌다 생각했는데 뭐 안 밟더라고요. 그래서 이겼습니다.
All right. I think we won because I think, honestly, when we got into the last map, map 5, I thought it was going to be easy fight. We were sort of predicting what the Vancouver Titans were going to roll out with. But when it came overtime, I sort of lost that confidence, and we had a feeling that we were going to lose. But fortunately or unfortunately for them, they weren't on the point or with the robot, so I guess we got the win. I do want to follow up on that, because yeah, that last moment of, I think, Colosseo was very interesting. What was going through your head, and can you explain to us what was happening towards the very end when you guys were pushing the robot? 자, 제가 방금 좀 이제 하나 또 여쭤보고 싶은 건, 방금 이제 말씀하셨다시피 그 오버타임에 들어갔을 때 마지막에 좀 이렇게 싸움을 하지 않고 어떻게 보면 승리를 거두시게 되셨는데, 그때 좀 어떤 감정이었고 좀 어떤 상황이었나요? 다시 좀 설명을 해주시면 감사할 것 같습니다.
그때 상대는 이제 리스폰에서 오는 상황이고 저희는 이제 계속 밟아야 되니까 밟으면서 이제 상대가 오는 걸 기다리고 있었는데 그냥 끝나가지고 그때 뭐 좀 허무했던 것 같아요. 좀 계속 비등비등하게 가다가 이렇게 C9으로 끝나니까 좀 허무했던 것 같습니다.
All right. I mean, the Vancouver Titans were coming out from the respawn, and we had to stay on point because it was overtime. But I think because the whole map was very, very close. So I guess I was a little let down because we had to end it on a C9. All right. My last question for you, Decay, is, of course, today was your Washington Justice's very last match for this stage. But there's more to come from you guys. So what can we expect to see from the Washington Justice moving forward? 자, 마지막 질문은 이제 이번 스테이지는 여기서 이제 끝이 나지만은 아직 한참 남았죠. 시즌이 아직도 길기 때문에 마지막 이제 다음 스테이지로 다음 스테이지 뵙게 될 것 같은데 그때 워싱턴 저스티스에게서 워싱턴 팀에게서 좀 어떤 모습을 기대할 수 있을까요?
이번 스테이지까지는 저도 그렇고 저희 팀원들도 그렇고 좀 적응을 못했다고 해야 되나? 그런데 이제 다음 스테이지부터는 좀 시간이 많으니까 좀 충분히 많이 적응해서 이제 더 좋은 모습 보여드릴 수 있을 것 같아요.
All right. I think I could say this for me and also my teammates as well. This stage, we weren't fully ready, or we weren't prepped enough, or I guess we weren't comfortable in the meta or the stage for mid-season tournament. But I think after this one, we're gonna have some time as well, and we actually have a lot of time to prep. So going into the next stage, we will come fully prepared with better looks. All right, Decay, thank you so much for your time. This is it for the interview, and again, congratulations on your last win for the stage. 자, 이걸로 인터뷰 마치겠고요. 너무나도 시간 내주셔서 감사합니다, DK 선수. 바이바이.
네, 감사합니다.
Thank you, Danny. Thank you, Decay, for that interview. Whew! What a game. What a match. I mean...
You know where we are right now?
No. I am a little bit lost.
We're at a point in history. This is going to be a moment. You know how we think of London Spitfire versus Washington Justice in the GOATS era when they had that awful match?
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah.
We're here again for Season 5. This is the moment that everyone's going to remember. Everyone's going to do you remember that match in Season 5 in 2022? That's where we are right now.
I need to come up with a name.
It'll come. The community will think of one. Don't worry.
We also have the Jerry game, of course, when Jerry jumped off Houston versus Boston in 2021.
Wherever on your Jerry. Yeah, that was a good time.
Good times. You're making history here on the Overwatch League, game by game. Truly incredible to witness that ending to that match. It could only end that way as well.
Yeah.
It was as poetic as it began here on New Queen Street. And Costa, I just feel like there were so many moments throughout this match that were just like glorious in and of itself. Just walk us through some of them.
Yeah, there was a lot of good, there was a lot of bad, but more importantly, there was a ton of weird. And so let's start off on New Queen Street, because Happy starts out on the Widowmaker for some reason, and it works until it doesn't. Vigilante decides to sleep the world, but they sleep and then they just wake up, unlike most people. We then head over to this Circuit Royale where Mira decides to go 4 minutes and 27 seconds, but without getting a blade, and then dies with it, and as does the Vancouver Titans. It's feeling bad. We go over to Midtown, and the Washington Justice have found their footing. They look like they're